Hi guys, just 1 second and we're live again. We're live again today, darlings. Thank you so much. Ooh. 1 second, guys, 1 second. And we're about to go. Hello, darlings, how are you? Let me have the link to the meeting. Am I allowed to look at this one on my YouTube channel though? Because it's on YouTube and I don't like that. I need to be a little bit careful because they can turn. They can use it against me, you know? Don't we have it from the website that we did have before? Because I don't want to look at it from the from YouTube. You're welcome, Margaret. Okay, Zayn is here, Tarun, Big Boy, DJ, Zayn, Big Boy again, Ark, Ju, hello, Alexandra, Lucifer, Marvici, Nelson, Ruth, Jung, I'm great, Ripples, hello, and Argit, of course, Shintan, Raja, strike or copyright maybe, yeah, no, Sissy, hello, Farun, Hani, hello Nat, hope you enjoyed your trip. Yeah, the trip was amazing. Hello Kevin, Huda, Bagush, Wesdy, hello everyone and welcome to the stream. I hope everyone is feeling fantastic. As I said, I don't wanna I can't look at another YouTube channel like that because usually what we do is that we're looking at it through a website, the Fed website. I'm not sure. Cici, you usually give it to me. I'm too lazy to look at myself. No, I'm joking. But if we have another link to the meeting, would be super sweet, guys, so we can look at it. I haven't looked at it. I thought that we were supposed to go in 30 minutes, but I went a little bit earlier. So if there's anyone know that we have the link to the meeting from some other platform, would be super sweet. Otherwise, we're just gonna continue to look at the charts. We are right. I mean, when we're looking at the calendar, we'll have something coming out in 30 minutes. That was why I wanted to go in within 30 minutes. But now it's pretty good because it's supposed to be very volatile around that time. So that's definitely a good I mean, we can just prepare ourselves to see what's potentially going to happen. And then we have something coming out, but I don't think this is going to affect the market super much more than what these things are doing. But so we're just going to continue to look at what the market, what will happen. And yeah, then we're good to go. So let us see. Don't we have SG here? Where's SG? Where's my Jalen? But you see, within 29 minutes, they talk. Nothing special is happening. We're just still continuing up. We came back down, actually retested my Fibonacci level. I think this, yeah, we retested it perfectly at $20,100. Amazing, amazing. We are, well, but what can potentially, I strongly believe that we'll continue up. I think that we will, SJ's busted trying to order pizza. Really? That girl. Game gap 111. Look at this. So when we're looking at DXY, I still believe that we'll continue down though. It just looks like we are doing, it looks like a, let's take these ones away. Let's take it away and just look at the higher perspective. We are breaking above $113.700 $113.700, and we can still pull back down to 112.520 or potentially 112.22. Around these levels. I say different numbers sometimes, but that is only because it depends on where I put the line. But when it comes to BTC, you know, I'm still inside the trade that I showed you this morning, so I'm just waiting for it to take my take profit at $20,500. So that is combined with the Fibonacci that we do have. I do expect us, as you guys already know, I still expect us to continue back up a little bit more. We can come inside between, as I said, 20,000, 20,500 and potentially 20,000, 21,000 K too. So, I mean, if DXY pulls back down to this Fibonacci level down here, then that kind of makes sense to see if BTC, you know, continues to pump a little bit. We just might see the market break above it, but this level is definitely very, very, very important for me to look at and see how it's going to behave if we even see the market reverse. But that is what I expect us to do. If we go to Ethereum, the same thing. I expect us to pull back up to 1,437, around 1,440, or potentially 1,492. If we have a little bit bigger momentum, we can also reach 1,576. And here she is. SG, hello guys. Everyone, SG is in the building. So yeah, this is what I see us do. We have such a big bullish candlestick on the weekly chart, on the daily. And this day, we also broke above the resistance. We did consolidate for a while, and yeah, we're looking for where the potential lower high can be created. I saw someone asked about XRP, and let us see who that was. Sane was talking about, Mama, why are you feeling sleepy? Please focus. So when we look at the level right now, when it comes to XRP, we are inside, or we are still above the Fibonacci levels that we have between 0.4660 and 0.4490. And yeah, so this is where we are just waiting for the market if we will break above. And I have already one target that is very important, and that is if we break above 0.4890. If we break above it, potential retest as a higher low, and then we can continue back up. Why you think it will be a lower high and not a higher high? Because the market is in a downtrend. That's why. Yeah, that's why. And then if we're looking at the targets where we could potentially pull back up to 6,060 and 6,680. You see these lines here. But everything, as I said, depends on how the market is behaving now. You can see how we're consolidating above the the 50%. And yeah, we'll wait and see if this is gonna continue up. As I said, this is a Fibonacci level, so we'll just have to wait and see. If we have big momentum and we're breaking below 0.4490, well, then that's a bearish scenario. But we don't retest any. I mean, look at this. We can definitely take this Fibonacci. We are inside Fibonacci levels actually at the moment. So this is a very, very important zone that we're inside right now when it comes to XRP. Actually, it's really important. You see how the market slowly instead starts to reverse back down. Look at the weekly chart. So yeah, I mean, it's very important now, because on XRP we are inside Fibonacci levels too. So we just might not pull back up to the higher time frames Fibonacci levels that I spoke about, because on the daily, this is a lower high level based from a high from 0.6460. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm always yawning. I do apologize. So yeah, let us wait and see how this is gonna play out. Let's go back to BTC. Yeah, in BTC, yeah, between 20.5 and 21. Ethereum, someone asked me why I think this could be a lower high and not a higher high, because if you know how market structure works, you don't have any higher highs in here. Everything that you're looking on this side, this is lower high. This was higher high, higher high, higher high. This is a lower high, this is technically a lower high, but this one told us that, hey, we're going down. We broke structure when this lower high came. We had another lower high right here. And then we connect the dots with the lower low to calculate where the next potential lower high can be. I got two different targets. So if you ask me about why I don't expect the market to be in a high, it's because you're not looking at an uptrend. This is a downtrend. This is a uptrend. So you have to understand what you're looking at for you to be able to make the right decision. So if you do not know how market structure works, please go inside to my YouTube channel. First of all, subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification so you know when I am live next time. But this is very, very, very important, guys. Crypto trading for beginners is one series that I have. Market structure part 1, part 2. This is where I explain everything in detail, how to use it. And that was also the reason why I was able to go in for a long position yesterday, because I saw that the downtrend was over and now I was looking at a uptrend on the lower time frames, because obviously the market is pulling back up, right? So I'm able to calculate where I go long in the market based on the downtrend that did end. Okay, so this was the downtrend. We are right now in a uptrend. So yeah, that's why it's so important for you to be able to understand market structure, because it guides you, it leads you the way. And don't forget that you can also receive the bonus on Bybit up to $4,380 by using the link in the description down below the video, guys. Bybit is great. It's great. I love Bybit, to be honest. I just love Bybit so much. And we have the low fees if you do not know that. So Bybit has very low fees while we hold our positions for a longer time. Bybit also give out other bonuses from their own page if you stop loss first time, etc., etc. But Bybit is actually really good. It's leverage trading, but you always have to be careful no matter what you do, to be honest. You have to understand risk management. You have to understand leverage, etc. But yeah, that's what I love. I love Bybit, to be honest. It's really great when it comes to trading cryptocurrencies. And we have more people. She also love Bybit. Ronnie also love Bybit. And so yeah, good day Natalie from Nigeria. Thanks for your knowledge. Thank you so much, Alexander. Guys, if you haven't already liked the live stream, please do that. This is how we're also being able to reach out to more people so they can actually see all of the beautiful things that we do on this YouTube channel. Good to see you, Natalie and SG. I'm amazing content from TA with you. Thank you so much, Big. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let us see if we're gonna continue up from here. I strongly believe that. I strongly believe that we'll have a pump. Let us see. We do have, it's 19 minutes left before they send out the other news. So let us see what's gonna happen. Until then, we can continue to look at your peers and see what you want me to look at. I was actually outside today. Really boring weather here in Sweden though, but I mean, fresh air. Everyone go out after this, have some fresh air. Breathe in Mother Nature. Don't sit inside too much. Don't take your phone with you. Don't listen to music. Just go out and listen to the freaking world. We don't have to be so caught up in the all of the things. And especially, you know, when we're also for scalping, it's a short. Thank you, Nat. I definitely watch all beginner videos. That's great. That's great. Let me see if I saw something else. I'm trying to see. Oh, I think I saw someone wanted us to please, Ronnie, don't tell people what to do for scalping as a short down to the 05. Please don't do that. You have 800%. But please do not tell people what to do, because actually some people are new and they actually believe, and people can believe you, and if it go wrong, I mean, it's everyone's responsibility, but we also have to take the responsibility to be very, very, very accurate with the prices that we share, because you don't want to just give out something, and especially not here. Wrong place. You get your own platform instead. But on my channel, no financial advisor, never. Okay, so look at this, guys. When it comes to A to A, I need to look at the overall picture again. So I was looking at the weekly chart. The market is obviously, we can see how the market is tight going sideways, right? And we were at the support. We had the support at 0.4300, okay? Market pulled back down to that level. We saw the retest. Now market bounced back to the upside. What I also do is that I'm using the Fibonacci from the last how. Oh, he's talking now. But can someone please send me? Can someone please send me the link that we usually see? I don't have it because someone sent me YouTube channel, but I'm not able to look at that. So if there's anyone that has the link, guys, I seriously forgot about where it is. I know Sissy usually give me that one when we have the Fed talk. Everyone says he's talking. But if you send me the link through the community, it would be super sweet. He's talking now. Only have YouTube link? Okay, well, I can't look at that. I don't want to get myself in trouble for that, guys, so I don't want to. But we're going up. I'm gonna look at it, but on my other screen. One second. He's talking about stablecoins now. So if there's anyone that doesn't know what we're looking at right now, I just send you the YouTube link in the live stream, please, guys. Look at it. But I don't want to share it on my YouTube. I just have it on my other screen. So if there's anyone that doesn't know what I'm doing, I'm listening to him right now. Excusez-moi. You're welcome, Pulikma time. We're just listening to so if you want to you have the link to the Powell speech right now. I have pinned it in my live chat, guys, so please look at it if you are able to. I'll repeat, I don't want to have it on my screen. Thank you so much, Jamie. I hope quiet. Oh, thank you so much. The event has now ended. No, I can't look at it. They don't have it there. It's crazy, you will be. Okay, now you're missing the live report. No, I don't. I'm listening to it right now. But we have within 5 minutes, we have something. But I'm looking at another guy. I'm looking at another guy that sits and shows. Reset doesn't work for my PC. Why would it work for the world? True. You know what? Let us just look at it, guys. Let's look at it here. Can you hear it?
Can we have a call with Singapore and check how it works? Ravi, we will come back to you if you can listen to me because we have a slight technical problem. Agustin will intervene and you will be back. Okay?
Okay.
You can hear some.
I think that there are many dimensions. One that we need to work it out is the coordination to try to tackle the issue of borderless crypto and
Can you hear it now?
in a way like lack of the ability to identify which entities are doing what. Now, given said that, I think that we should not completely sacrifice to think about regulation both through have activity-based regulation and entity-based regulation.
Okay,
There
good.
are many entities in a DeFi, in the crypto world, that can be identified. For example, who establishes the rules of the algorithms? Who establishes, who takes the decisions about stable coins? Those are centralized entities. As a matter of fact, what we have said in the VIS, there is an illusion of the decentralization. At the end of the day, they are quite well identified central players that can be regulated, and I think we should move in that direction. I also think that we should have the ability to question the universal application of same activity, same risk, same regulation. For example, a repo done for DeFi purposes by an exchange that doesn't have limits on capitalization, doesn't have liquidity rules, doesn't have leverage rules, they can do repo ad infinitum.
They want to spend, and they want to control everything. They even want to control your brain. Like, that's the whole thing.
Is a repo done in the DeFi context the same as a repo done in the banking system? For me, it's a very different animal. Therefore, I think we should have that flexibility. So big challenges there, and I think they're very, very important. And as a matter of fact, I fully support the view that Christine mentioned at the beginning, at the outset of her intervention. Search for yield, the blow of search for yield was a huge contributor, not the only one, as I said, for the deflation of the crypto world, but had to do a lot with the quasi-Ponzi scheme that was going on because of lack of regulation and abuse of figures like repos. So I think we need to have that nimbleness to do all this. Now, in terms of CBDCs, I think what Jay and Christine has said is precise. I don't have much to add, but I would build a little bit more in the direction of where Ravi was going, and that is, I think CBDC can really become programmable and can facilitate the incorporation into more traditional type of transactions of many of the ideas behind DeFi, like programmability and so on and so forth. So I think that the nimbleness that, for example, stable coins bring to the table should be provided by CBDC. And as a matter of fact, it shouldn't be that difficult. What does stablecoin mean? Stablecoin means it's a digital asset that doesn't have value in itself, and it has to import its value from trusted money issued by central banks. So, but if we have already trusted money, why do we need to export that value to another currency? Well, let's just present that money with the adequate technological representation that would allow for innovation and evolution of the payment systems and the financial system in the way it is being pursued through DeFi.
And Agustin, I push the question on wholesale versus retail CBDC. If I was to be provocative, I would say that the BIS Innovation Hub, to my knowledge, is mainly focused on wholesale CBDC. Do you believe in retail CBDC? Yes or no?
I think it's a public choice. I think my basic point is it needs to prove its value. But one thing that we as central bankers, at least that's my opinion, personal opinion, cannot afford is if the public wants a central bank issued money for retail, we should be ready to provide it. I mean, if the society demands that, we should be able to provide it. I think we should do the work. If people do not want it, well, that's fine. But if people really want it, I think it behooves us to be ready.
Thank you. Ravi, we will turn back to Singapore. Sorry for this technical problem we have. By the way, I turn to the organizers. We will perhaps have 3 to 5 minutes at the end from 1 or 2 questions from the audience. So we will see if it's possible, but if you have questions, don't hesitate. Ravi, you are back.
Thanks, Francois. I'll just pick up from where Augustine left off. I'm a bigger fan of wholesale CBDCs than retail CBDCs. As I said earlier, the critical problems we're trying to solve can be solved by programmable money in the form of private stablecoins, tokenized deposits, or wholesale CBDCs. And I think the future landscape will have all three in play. And I think that's not a bad landscape, provided we can regulate stablecoins well, and the other two, will follow suit. Retail CBDCs, I think, is a public choice. It's not required to solve any specific problem of the kind we're discussing, whether it's trade finance, cross-border payment settlement, post and pre-trade capital market activities. You don't need retail CBDC for that. Wholesale CBDC, stable coins, and tokenized deposits can do it. So retail CBDC is a separate choice. I think it's a political economy choice and a public choice. A quick word on stablecoin regulation, which I think is where the crux of our focus ought to be. And Jay has highlighted the things that we're doing at the international community level. I think there are 3 issues we need to pay close attention. Jurisdictional differences in stablecoin regulation, I think, can be very challenging. The thing is this: the same stablecoin can be issued by several entities across multiple jurisdictions. So the same coin issued in the US and issued in Singapore could be subject to different standards. And this is and so we do need regulatory alignment, and this is something the international community.
That's the eyes of Lazar.
Then there are the decentralized governance issues with stablecoins that rely on algorithms. This is a huge problem, and we discussed that earlier on. And then third, there is systemic risks. Now, we say that stablecoins are backed by low-risk assets. Now, if they're fully backed by low-risk, high-quality assets, they can pose concentration risks. In times of stress, multiple stablecoin issuers can concurrently suffer from mass redemptions, leading to a fire sale of underlying financial assets, because these are a limited class of financial assets which we regulators would deem as low risk and high quality. So
The good thing is that they are even greedier than the average person. Yeah, they would never be able to trade the market. We can say that.
Like DeFi problems, which are almost conceptually difficult at this point, in terms of regulatory technology to try to solve. I'll stop here. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I just check whether Christine or Jay would want to have a short reaction to what Agustin or Ravi said. Up to you. No? Up to you.
Excuse me, why do you always want our money?
Then,
Can you
if we
please
can
give us
have a
freedom
right
at
of
least
the
once a time,
audience,
once a
please,
year or
whether
something?
there are
Dede?
some questions.
Well, I thought you were gonna call Powell. I called him. He said, "Hey,
I
he's
said
afraid of
for
you."
our
Okay.
three online panelists, we have a wonderful audience in Le Louvre, about 400 participants, but I'm just checking. No question. Apparently there is one question, but do you have a mic?
How is he supposed to have a mic if he's doing this?
Here?
Of course, it doesn't have a mic. Haha, he needs to dump the market. Yeah.
It will come.
Oh,
You
chat
just
69. I'm
ready
not in
to
the mood.
introduce yourself and put your question briefly. Thank you very much.
Bonjour, David Durouchou,
Oh,
Société Générale Forge.
comment.
My question is related to the
Go away,
anonymity
dirty ones. We're
of
working here. Yeah, you see?
coins that
At
are
least we're
being
trying to
raised.
do something.
Cryptocurrency are bearing a lot of anonymity, and probably it is the reason why a lot of people are using them. Would
What's the date site?
CBDC
It's the
have the
Powell's
same
own
anonymity, and how
dating
do you
site.
work it in the future?
It's exclusive from Natalie's YouTube channel.
I hope the question was clear for everybody. By the way, you use the word cryptocurrencies, which was the best way to stimulate the 5 central bankers who are here. But I don't know who would jump on the question. And
Natalie's husband
Jay?
is
Sure. I'll just say briefly, Francois, that we haven't made, as you know, decisions to proceed or not, but we issued a discussion paper.
Who cares
in
about the pound? I just want more
January of
Shiba.
this year, and we said that we think that there are 4 characteristics of, if we were to pursue a CBDC, it would at a minimum have the following 4 characteristics. First is intermediated. Second is privacy protected. The third is identity verified. So it would not be anonymous. It would not be an anonymous bearer instrument. And fourth is transferable or interoperable. So we would be looking to balance privacy protection with identity verification, which has to be done, of course, in today's traditional banking system as well.
Thank you very much for this answer. Christine, sorry, you raised your hand. I didn't see it. Please.
Very briefly, Francois. Two things. One is when we surveyed Europeans, the first concern that they had, in addition to the support to the digital euro, was privacy. Privacy is first and foremost on their mind when we develop the digital euro. In terms of anonymity, there would not be complete anonymity as there is with banknotes, for instance, but there would be a limited level of disclosure and certainly not at the central bank level.
Okay. Agustin or Ravi, nothing to add. So, if you agree, we will stop there to be on time. May I thank warmly our 4 panelists, because I hope this appreciation was shared with the audience, but it was really a high-level conversation and very useful, including for me. I don't want to sum it up or to conclude, but perhaps 2 or 3 key takeaways. First, about the financial stability issue, you concurred probably to say that it's less cyclical and linked to monetary normalization and more structural and linked, Agustin, to the interconnectedness or the border between DeFi and the classical financial system. Second, regulation is obviously key, and you all agreed about that. We have to regulate differently different animals. We will have this difficult debate about activity-based and entity-based, probably combining both of them, but we need, I strongly stress it, a consistent global regulation. If not, we will not be efficient because it's an international phenomenon. And third, and I would conclude with that, this
We're
debate
looking
about
at
public versus private money.
the Powell who was supposed to
It's
speak, so they speak
probably
about
slightly philosophical, so to
money.
say. Is our debate today
How they want to
about
take our money away from
regulating
us,
private
even more.
innovation, which already brings much. And Jay and Ravi, you were very eloquent on this issue. Or do we have, we central banks, to go further and still providing public money in this new tokenized and digital form? As you said, it's public choice. There will be perhaps different answers from different jurisdictions. We will see what are our fellow citizens' expectations. In Europe, Christine was very clear about the fact that there is probably
I want a
significant
cruise.
expectation. So it's not only a philosophical issue, it's also a political one, probably in the strongest meaning of the word. This is also what Commissioner McGuinness was referring to in a speech. Having said that, I will stop there, thanking the four of you again very warmly. And now coming to our next roundtable about decentralized finance, challenges and opportunities. It will be moderated by Nathalie Aufauve, whom I call on stage.
You said my name?
Nathalie, as many of you know, is our Director General at the Banque de France for market operations and financial stability. So, the woman of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. I'm here. How are ya? How are you? Hello. You can get the bonus on Bybit if you want to. Wow, congrats, Natalie. I'm like, yeah. What are we talking about here? This is an awkward silence they're going through right now. So what's the outcome? Well, the outcome is that they want to have control over every single area of your life, which they kind of already have, but now they want to take the cryptocurrencies with them. Woman of the day, Natalie. Natalie, you were on the screen. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They want under crypto and call it. This is like once again, I'm telling you guys, subscribe to my channel. Look at my videos, practice the charts, become the trader you want to be, okay? Become the trader you want to be so these people cannot control you 100% yet, okay? Because right now they can. If you are able to trade the market, look at the charts, gain profits, that's the best thing that you can do for yourself. So subscribe to my channel because I go through these every single day with you guys. I show you exactly how I take my trades over and over and over again.
I propose that we try to.
This is Natalie, but that's not me. I don't look like that.
Event. So I was very well introduced by the governor. So.
Hi, Naz. I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
And I'm very pleased to
guys, if you haven't already liked the live stream, we have over 300 people in here. If you haven't liked the live stream, please do that and super welcome. Welcome, welcome.
So after this fantastic first round table, where we got
Rowan, welcome.
Updated views of the on the topic.
Thank God you don't look.
Representative of the official
You guys
sector.
are crazy.
We turn now to the private sector.
Hi, Tusha.
And this roundtable, we will discuss the challenges and opportunities of DLTs and of DeFi. So it was very well clarified in the previous roundtable that we must make a distinction between the technology, innovation.
Yeah, I'm long. I actually bought the market yesterday down here at 18,000 something. So I had my take
assign
profit at
for
$20,000,
players can
$20,500.
these technologies.
I'm showing
So
the
here we are
B2C
going to
chart
discuss
on the left
this
side.
topic from the financial
I have
problem point of
DXY
view,
on the right side, but
and
I can't
we
show
will
it to
try
you,
to
sorry.
get their views
It's okay,
also
Richard.
on what we need to have a safe and efficient development of this emerging market.
Yeah, I
According
even
to
think we
market
can come
players,
back up to
DLTs
21K.
have a transformational potential for market infrastructure and the financial industry as a whole through the tokenization of assets. And actually, many experiments have been conducted on tokenized assets over the last months. And
Hey,
decentralized
Chaz.
finance, on the other hand, has experienced fast growth, and it uses DLTs and crypto assets in order to offer direct peer-to-peer crypto-based financial services like borrowing and lending of crypto asset-based on decentralized platforms. So we have these two aspects. As very clearly shown also by the previous roundtable, these developments could yield clear benefits for many players, a large range of players, but it also comes with many risks. So I propose to organize our discussion today around three main questions. First, what are the benefits and the opportunities of DLTs and tokenized finance, tokenized assets identified by market players? Second, is the regulation or prospect of regulation fit to address the associated risks? And finally, within this context, can the issuance by central banks of a wholesale CBDC be highlighted as both a mitigation tool and an innovation benefiting to market players? So it's just a mirroring of the previous discussion.
What's the
from
channel,
market
Nat?
players' point of
You
view.
have it linked in the
To
live
discuss these
stream, so you just
challenges,
look
I
at
am
it, the
delighted
pin.
to
You can look
welcome
at it there.
our normally 4 outstanding guests, but actually we have only 3 guests on site. I don't know if our 4th guest will be reachable because I think he wished to participate remotely, so I don't know if we will be able to have him on our panel. But in any case, we have Adrien Zera here, Managing Director of Nomadic Labs, Maud Lemoine, Head of SSA Debt Capital Market at
You know
Goldman
what
Sachs,
I'm gonna do?
and
I'm
Jean-Marc
gonna order
Weiner,
sushi
CEO,
while we're looking at
Société
this.
Générale Forge. So to make sure we remain within our timing, I invite you to keep your comments short, something like 3 minutes maximum, and we try to keep 10-15 minutes for questions at the end of our discussion. So starting with the opportunities, the use cases, I turn first to you, Adrien.
Is it better now?
In your view, what are the main benefits, use cases DLTs could bring? What customer needs does this technology fulfill?
Thank you for having me today. I'm very pleased to be here. Nomadic Labs is a
Should order
company
whatever
based
she
in Paris,
wants.
and we are working on the Tezos protocol. So I will answer your question. The main use cases that a DLT or a blockchain can bring, I would see a first one, which is very obvious today, is the issuance and the control of a central bank digital currency, and we've seen the different experiments that Banque de France has done recently. We also have, thanks to this technology, the possibility to issue and control what we call stable coins, and we have example of USDC, which is a digital asset pegged to the US dollar, controlled by the US company Circle. But as well, and it's disruptive, the issuance and the control of what we call stablecoin, but decentralized stablecoins. For instance, the MakerDAO protocol, which is a set of smart contracts coupled with what we call governance token that allows the issuance and the control of such an asset. Of course, we have the tokenization of financial assets, tokenization of bonds, for instance, structured products, and so on and so on. And since we are talking about decentralized finance today, thanks to the DLT technology or blockchain technology, what we have seen, and thanks to the smart contract technology in particular, we have seen the emergence of what we call decentralized finance protocol. I see two wonderful financial primitives, which are the peer-to-peer lending protocols. For instance, we have AAV or Compound. And those protocols allow, so today, and I would say unfortunately, it's only accessible to retail, and I wish to see more and more institutional coming into this decentralized finance space. You can use those protocols by depositing a collateral, which can be a crypto asset, and borrow another one. This is the first family, I would say, or financial primitive. And to conclude, the second very interesting financial primitive is what we call automated market makers, which are as well a set of smart contracts that allows, so far, retail people to deposit assets, two assets, let's say asset A and asset B, and to become a liquidity provider, to become a market maker. This is why we call it automated market maker. So if you have two assets, you can deposit those assets in what we call a liquidity pool and allow the trading of those assets by what we call a swap. Every time there is a swap, the liquidity provider takes a fee. So this is what today you can do with a blockchain. I'm not saying I am in favor of all those protocols or against. I'm just giving a technical point of view of what you can do within the financial space thanks to a blockchain or a DLT.
Adrien, so now I turn to you, Maud. Based on these technical developments, these new capacities, how do you see the role of banks in the tokenized space? You are developing some experiments. So how do you see your role as traditional finance in this tokenized space?
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for having us today. We have very big shoes to fill after the first panel, so we'll try to contribute in the most meaningful way possible to this interesting debate. I think, as you said, I come from a background of traditional markets, and the way we look at it, looking at the way we transact at the moment, we are faced with many frictions. And what new technologies have brought over the past has always been paired with financial innovation. So if we look back at the move from paper to electronic trading, or the emergence of high-frequency trading, or web-based applications for derivatives or book-building processes, this is really the next step, and it's an opportunity for banks to adapt and embrace this technology with the benefits that it comes with. One of the things that has been discussed is very much the associated risk with the technology.
Philip, I am your sugar daughter.
One thing that shouldn't be overlooked is also the existing risks that are reduced by using the technology. And the way I think about it from the bank's point of view is that it's an opportunity to streamline the processes on the post-trade settlement side, but also reduce unnecessary risks and costs that are associated with frictions transacting in the markets today. So for instance, we have many times where we do, in bond issuance space or equities issuance space, where we're faced with
my sugar daddy.
or counterparty risks. All of these risks can be reduced by using blockchain technology associated with traditional markets. And it's really important that the adaptation is done fairly fast, because of course we're talking about the
Yes,
emergence
Tim,
of
you're
other
right.
ecosystems. And obviously the growth of traditional markets is important and goes at a fast pace, and it's expectation of market participants to be able to transact in a ever faster and constant way. So, you know, it's the role of banks to really adapt to this change fast so that we can respond to the
Daniel, I
growing
would
demand.
wait. I would wait.
Thank you very much, Maud. Now, let me introduce Matthias Imba. I think you succeeded in joining us. Can you hear us? And
On va prévenir la scène.
I'm not sure. So,
Yeah, for anyone that's thinking about what to do right now on the charts, I would just wait because the move happened before. Okay,
no, it does
the
not
move
seem
already
to.
happened. The market is
Matthias,
now.
can you hear you?
Obviously, I think we will push inside the box that you see that we have, and then potentially slowly instead of reverse. But at the moment, I wouldn't do
I hope
anything.
these technical difficulties will be solved, and maybe we can continue our discussion and go back to you later on. We have started to look at these.
We're looking at the news that
and the fact that
they talk about cryptocurrencies, etc. So it's pretty important. And usually the market comes. You see how DXY now pulls up.
Reduce risks, but at the same time, it was clearly mentioned in the previous roundtable that many risks can also come with these new technologies because it was developed outside of
Hello, Ankush, how are you?
Finance, and we saw that
thank you so much, babe.
It entails many risks. So from your point
look,
of
you can
view,
see it even says Natalie here.
How do you see the development in the regulation to address these associated risks? And for example, Jean-Marc, if I turn to you, may I ask you how would you characterize the current connections of the crypto asset system, the DeFi, with the traditional financial system? How do you think this will evolve considering recent developments in this ecosystem and regulation?
Yes, sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me on the panel. So maybe just as a way of background, at Société Générale, we are deeply involved in building new solutions, new innovative solutions for our clients involving DLT technology and crypto more generally. It's already a number of years we are making investments in this field, and notably with the creation of a subsidiary, so Société Générale Forge, fully dedicated in building those capacities.
Wonder how many of you join now after I did it.
New solutions which would improve the efficiency of the market transactions we propose to clients, professional clients in the field of digital assets, but also improving possibly significantly the financial terms of this transaction by leveraging those new markets which have emerged with time through crypto.
If Paul sees his
context,
channel.
we have been organizing now for
Is the sound low?
Digital asset issuances, meaning financial securities issued for corporate or financial institutions in the form of native crypto assets, notably on public blockchain, Ethereum or Tezos, for instance. But also now we are engaging with DeFi protocol, notably the MakerDAO protocol, which is one of the largest DeFi protocol out there, to create new solutions for notably refinancing.
They're like, the world is going on though. It's okay, everyone.
Significantly
cool.
improved compared to the traditional way of doing these operations. And it's sure that through
nothing special happened here. The world is just going on though.
Ecosystem, I would say, what we have witnessed is that basically we have two families or two type of actors we should clearly differentiate, and coming to your question, and differentiate in between the assets themselves and the way those assets are operated within the crypto ecosystem. Actually, most of the
He's gonna
crypto
throw it
players,
on us.
probably you would know names who would come out of your mind thinking about the crypto industry, are actually centralized entities, centralized companies which are organized like any companies, having probably a well-defined human resources department who are dealing with digital assets, either regulated assets or non-regulated assets, such as cryptocurrencies, and offering services who some might consider as financial services on these digital assets, lending, borrowing, trading, custody of these assets. Those players, we refer them as CFI players, centralized financial players, are actually very close to players we may find in the traditional financial industry. New regulations are out there and are basically being made to incorporate those players in the ecosystem, and that's, we think, a good thing. And we see a very strong convergence in between those players and traditional banks, which are like Société Générale, entering the field. By the way, these players do also have very classical financial needs, and they need to be strongly integrated within the traditional financial system. This convergence is quickly underway, and we are pretty confident that in a few years' time, we'll see a level playing field which will be established there. Where, in our view, the question is probably more tricky and further developments probably need to be made in the regulatory front are when it comes to truly decentralized players, meaning entities, decentralized entities who provide services on digital assets, which are not incorporated, as we know, as a traditional company, entities who probably don't have any human resources departments, and where the question, in our view, is probably more associated to new types of business models we don't know in the real world, but which have emerged and are now quite mature and developed in the crypto industry, rather than a technological question. So if we address this question through I think, the business model angle, probably we'll need to see, as I said, more developments to be made to make sure we provide clients, either retail or institutional clients, with the same level of protection. You guys are crazy.
I'm reading your comments. I'm just laughing at you.
Thank you very much, Jean-Marc. I tried again to take contact with Matthias. Matthias, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, but now I can. Hello.
So welcome to our roundtable, and we had the first discussion regarding the opportunities and the use cases for market players brought by DLTs, and we have started to speak about regulation. So maybe, Matthias, I can ask you the same question as the question I asked to Maud. What is the interest and what could be the role of banks in the tokenized space? Would it bring many changes in the way market infrastructure work in this looking forward?
Yeah, thank you, and thanks also for having me, and apologies for these technical challenges at the beginning. Now, I think it depends on the use case. I mean, or rather, I can answer the question around what it means technologically and then also regulatory.
My food is
maybe
on its
starting
way.
with the latter, there's not so much change, particularly when we talk about tokenized assets. Tokenized assets are securities per se, particularly if they constitute the right against the counterparty, be it tokenized shares, etc. And I think we've proven this with Signum, you anyway need to be a licensed entity to issue, to promote, to distribute securities. And in that sense, even today's regulatory frameworks work pretty well, also around compliance, etc. Where the impact is more severe, I think, is technologically. Ultimately,
sorry, guys.
if we move
I'm so sorry. I was like, what are you talking about? It is a
how
50-minute
assets
chart.
are settled to a settlement model where we have true delivery versus payment, where we leverage the characteristics of the blockchain to gain efficiencies, then that is the major change. And what we see or what we feel is as a crypto bank, as a crypto native bank, which basically combines the traditional world of traditional assets with digital assets, is that for many banks, the key challenge is to combine these two worlds, because it's not just adding a new asset class, it's basically creating a new infrastructure and investing in a new infrastructure to be able to custodize, to trade, to interact with this technology. Then maybe last point I can make is we move away from securities, from tokens with right towards a counterparty, into the more DeFi related areas when it's about protocol tokens and the custody and trading of these, then it's a different game again, because depending on where you are in the world, there's still lots of questions from the regulator. What do these tokens entail? Are they payment tokens, utility tokens, or maybe even still securities? And what that means from a regulatory standpoint. And there, I think, depending on where you are, many of the answers have been provided, and in other areas, not much. We see in Switzerland and also in Singapore, or two hubs where we operate from, these questions have been clarified to a significant extent. So every night I can go and I sleep well, because I know that we're just following the rules and hence can operate as a licensed bank, even in this space.
Thank you very much, Matthias. So I think you are quite aligned with the distinction made by the central bankers on the DLT technology on the one side, maybe stable coins and tokenized assets, and the DeFi, which is a bit different in the sense that it is not regulated and it's a completely different world. And so you mentioned that we can see that some centralized platforms are now converging toward the regulation of financial finance, but it's more those most far away players, not very well identified, not licensed, which really need regulation now. So turning back to you, Maud, how fast do you expect traditional markets to adapt to changes in the general ecosystem? Because we saw some turmoil in the crypto assets. We saw this need for regulation. So what is your vision on the way forward?
I'm going to eat in front of you guys. I'm hungry. I'm really hungry.
Thank you. Well, first of all, as we think about this transition, I think one of the interesting aspects is that it's beneficial across the value chain. And by value chain, I mean investors, banks, and issuers. And therefore, I think that
look at this,
in
guys.
that context,
it looks so
the
good.
current market infrastructure and regulation doesn't support a scalable solution to benefit from what DLT-based market infrastructure can bring. And in that context, I also think that the EU DLT pilot regime, we talked about this in the first panel, will be a key enabler and true catalyst.
But you're not going to look at me while I'm eating. I'm going to sit like that.
It really helps develop solutions for the issuance of digital securities in an environment that's now safe, and also it's making sure that we protect financial stability. In that context, banks have a key role to play. There's a network effect. We need to start having volume in this market for the market to evolve. It's what we can do to help that transition.
We're going down.
But also
but we're going to the opposite direction now, guys.
To support that network effects and
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. It goes to the opposite direction because we're on the option. So
how to develop the systems behind to make sure that we're respond to this demand. And we've worked with, obviously, my partner here, Jean-Marc, on a number of different solutions looking at the issuance of digital securities. But what we're faced with, it's still a number of roadblocks for the market to be truly liquid and scalable. And I think really the EU DLT pilot regime next year will be the key enabler for traditional market participants to scale up, which is really what we need.
But the roadblocks are more on the regulation side, or do you see
don't be tricked by the dump now, guys. Don't be tricked by the dump. They always dump it and then they pump it.
Mature technology. So
always.
Is it both on the regulation side and on the technical side? And maybe one question more, how is the expected response from investors? Are they interested in moving toward tokenized assets? How do you think you can move the whole market?
So I'm sure you want to comment, but I'll quickly say something. I think it goes hand in hand in the sense that it's difficult to develop the technological solution without knowing what the regulation is. So I think a key role as a market participant is to work with the regulators and the public sector institutions to make sure that we collectively figure out a system that's enabling innovation while making sure that financial stability is retained. So unfortunately, it doesn't really answer your question, but I think it does go hand in hand. And sorry, I forgot your second question.
How do you incentivize investors?
So that's a very big question, and I think it will be.
If you want to be part of my Natalie Bitcoinsensus group, you have the link in the live stream right now.
Which is the digital cash component, because at the moment, the only way for the digital securities market to really be scalable is also if we have the digital cash component that's available for investors. And that's where we see the true benefits of the technology, by really reducing the risk, by having DVP settlement and having instantaneous transactions and lowering the risk of cross-border payments, everything we're going to talk about. And that's what investors are looking for. And at the moment, it's not available in that ecosystem.
To elaborate on what Maud just said, and again, as a feedback from the different security token transactions we have been organizing in the market,
I live very central, so that's why.
We clearly see a very strong rise in
there's a lot of restaurants
for
around
high-quality digital assets in the market, both from the crypto industry, of course, but also from the more traditional players. I'm thinking to real money asset managers, for instance, due to all the embedded benefits which are tied to a native digital, let's say, environment for these assets. The hurdles we are facing in terms of adoption by clients, contrary to what many people may think, are not at all on the technological side. Technology is actually very much mature, and I mean all the tools and the systems, the setups to easily digest this type of security or assets in traditional systems do
25
exist.
minutes for
Just as an example, investors who are coming to us, for instance, to trade on the secondary market, digital securities could be onboarded from a technical standpoint in a few days, literally 2-3 days, and we don't need to make heavy investment in the IT front. On the contrary, where discussions are definitely longer and where we need to go through more education, but also sometimes seek more clarity, is in getting a level of confidence in the legal frameworks we are using, which are today either well advanced in certain countries.
Chopsticks is like candlesticks, you know.
Leading the pack, we think, not only in Europe, but also globally. But those legislation, those
I'm not sure if Paul is going to talk anymore.
National,
does anyone know that?
Really
because he did speak before,
we
but...
need, obviously, involving transactions which involve issuers and investors across the globe. on the security side, but also on the payment side, we need legal certainty across
everything
all these operations.
you can see here, my FX book is really good when it comes to looking at the
a
news.
technological environment which is very new. That's where difficulties often arise today.
Okay, thank you. It's very clear. So we need a legal security and level playing field in terms of regulation. So I think you are very much aligned with the previous roundtable, actually. Maybe Matthias,
Stop laughing,
I don't
Natalie.
know if
it's
you
not
want
funny.
to comment there on regulation or just what has been said. Otherwise, we can turn to the third part of the roundtable.
I'm fine. Maybe just one comment is I also agree technologically things are ready, but sometimes when it comes to user experience, number one, it still doesn't feel it still feels a bit clunky. The systems, particularly when also the two systems, traditional banking systems, are integrated with more blockchain-based systems, they sometimes feel a bit clunky, and user experience is not yet where it should be. I think that's normal, and is a normal evolution. And secondly, it's a bit related to what has been said. It's just there's not enough nodes. There's not enough players in the market yet that can help create the necessary liquidity and the means for customers to transfer and book the securities, tokenized securities across various custodians and banks. That I think is inhibiting also that inflection point which we have yet to see.
Thank you. So I propose now, it was very well introduced by Maud, to turn to
They say Sweden doesn't use cash. No, we still use cash, but they take it away slowly and steady.
Role of wholesale CBDC.
Sweden and Canada is always the first countries that they do these things on.
I would like to ask
We're
you,
like test
Adrien,
countries, Sweden and
Canada. What advantages would you see with the wholesale CBDC? What advantages would bring a new settlement asset? The safest one, of course, CBDC. And especially maybe if you could give your view in the DeFi space.
Sure, thank you for the question. So surprisingly, I think that wholesale CBDC would help the development of the decentralized finance space. We talked earlier about financial primitives such as peer-to-peer lending protocols or automated market makers. But I would like to talk more specifically about lending protocols, peer-to-peer lending protocols. So the idea is quite simple. You have a crypto asset, you deposit it into a smart contract, and then it is used as a collateral. You have an over-collateralization mechanism, and you can borrow another crypto asset. What we see today, it's mostly used by retail people. So
these
the problem
people, these are the real
kind of protocols, which are technically speaking really, really interesting, is the fact that the collateral is very volatile. Generally, we are talking about crypto assets that are extremely volatile. Now, I think that if we can use tokenized financial assets, such as bonds or structured products, as a collateral, it would help a lot to increase the use of this kind of protocol. However, you're going to ask me...
this is why I guys want you to be able to trade the charts.
Coming from
and don't look at chat 69, please.
Late 2020, which was the tokenization of an alternative investment fund in France, fully regulated. There was a bit of reluctance to tokenize the shares of this fund because investors told us, we don't have a cash leg which is on chain.
I already did it, Charles.
Or a stable coin so that we can do the DVP or we can sell afterwards the security token. So this is the first obstacle. The second one is the lack of, and I know there are some work and we will manage to do it, but today another obstacle is the lack of regulated secondary market for security tokens with order book. But this is another part. Where wholesale CBDC could be really useful, I think it's because it would help
I'm eating sushi.
people issuing
I have to
more,
do it. I usually don't eat while I'm doing live streams, but this one is pretty long, and I was really hungry. I'm really hungry.
And if we have more tokenized financial assets, then they can be used into decentralized finance protocols, such as peer-to-peer lending protocols as a collateral, or
Natalie
maybe
and family, I love very much. Yeah, this is a great family we have. We
so
always sit to look at the news together
this
now.
is something we are.
Are you guys
beginning to
eating
see.
something? Drinking something? Taking drugs? I saw someone needed more drugs.
With MakerDAO, for instance, to use tokenized assets as a collateral to borrow the DAI stablecoin, which is a crypto asset pegged to the US dollar. Or we see more and more as well companies, especially in France, willing to tokenize real estate assets and then use it as a collateral. So hopefully, I hope we will see more and more traditional finance
as
players
dinner. Oh
coming
wow!
into the space,
Sandwich and a Monster Zero. Nice coffee. Just sipping my first coffee.
This, really beautiful.
Your eyes gonna be like this.
That are smart contracts, set of smart contracts, allowing.
My dealer is on its way.
Allowing players.
Coffee morning here. A lot of people joining the.
Oh,
we have guys. If you want to be part of my Telegram group, please be subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know when we're live next time. Okay.
Okay.
I'm French. We love coffee too much. Yeah, with 4 coffees, you definitely do. Me drinking Pepsi with chips and enjoying my losses.
I mean, it's something very far-reaching for a central banker, but...
well, I'm happy you're honest about it. Guys, if you want to be part of my community, you have it right now in the live stream chat.
So turning now
Actually, just gave it to you guys.
Jean-Marc,
More than welcome. Guys, we're trying to become the best traders in the world. You're at the right place.
Wholesale CBDC.
You're at the right place, trust me.
What are your key takeaways from this experiment? The main benefits of a CBDC and the challenges, maybe.
Sure. The experiment you are referring to is actually a market transaction we helped organizing last year for the European Investment Bank, where we issued, we helped them to structure and issue a digital bond, a 100 million euro digital bond on the Ethereum public blockchain, which has been settled through a CBDC issued by Banque de France, and we did that in partnership with 3 banks, so Goldman Sachs, Société Générale, and Santander. And actually, through this experiment, but also some others we went through across the globe, we really see the strong need for a non-chain mean of payment, which will accompany the rise of this new form of securities, and which will allow investors or issuers to reap actually the full benefit of this native digital nature of the securities in bringing efficiency, global reach for.
I already followed you all social networks. That's great.
Speed of transaction.
Nat, you have your own song intro before every something. Yeah. Nat, write a book about trading startup with the mindset. Just my thought. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. Trust me.
What we see today.
Smart idea.
The traditional market infrastructure, having the both side of a trade.
Need to write that down.
The security
I've been thinking
trade,
about it, but now when you say it, it's very important.
And the payment leg on the other side, being operated actually on the same network, or at least on networks or under formats which are compatible, offering a mean of payment which is quick, secured, and risk-free is actually a must-have, we think, to really see a strong rise in the demand for this type of solution. And it's a bit a kind of chicken and egg question, but
you're with us for life. Join our Telegram group.
I mean, dependent on these developments. In terms of challenges, and because you were raising the question as well, I mean, definitely the need of having settlement tools, CBDCs, or or private proxy of that in the form of stablecoin are strongly linked to the ability they have to be
Thank you,
interoperable.
Saeed. Thank you so much for the
That's
idea. I actually
use
wrote it down.
cases
I will do
which are
that.
cross-border. Again, investors being located in different places across the globe, issuers as well, intermediaries. So you need to have a settlement mechanism, a settlement tool which is interoperable, which provide
yes, I'm in a position. I'm actually in a long position since
which possibly
yesterday.
is also
my take profit is at
$20,500
on
the
BTC.
existing legacy system we have.
Include your mouse in the book.
In the previous panel, the
Where the hell is Powell?
Move overnight to a full digital environment.
He's trading the market right now.
We'll see for an extended period of time traditional mean of payments, wholesale money as we know it today, coexisting with CBDC. And all these operations will have to be interconnected.
You see, they dump the market just a little bit. And some people, if they do not know, they freak out. They're like, the market is going down, and then the market just go up.
Possibly, which will recognize as an enforceable mean of payment, providing finality on the settlement in a technological format which is new and for which, again, if we see the big jurisdictions in between the US, Europe, and some places in Asia, today there are still somehow fragmented initiatives without this legal certainty we were talking before, which will give the confidence to issuers or investors to jump at scale into these new developments.
Thank you. And Maud, on your side, you also be part of this experiment phase. So the same question, key takeaways and challenges?
Sure. I mean, unsurprisingly, I agree with a lot of things that Jean-Marc just said. We took part in the experiment last year together. One of the things that we were able to see in the experiment together with you is we experimented the settlement of digital cash versus digital security.
NFT, your legendary mouse. I will definitely do
that. Atomic way.
Maybe
however,
Powell will
what we didn't see is that available to investors. And again, I come back to what I was just saying earlier, without the digital cash component in the form of a CBDC available to investors, it effectively introduces a new level of risk for investors by having counterparty risk and and also some settlement risk, because if you
Thursday will be the inflation data for September. We should decide the direction for the coming weeks.
In DLT, but you still have the payment rails onto the normal payment rail system.
For the ones that new here, I still expected us to push back up to these two levels, 20,500 and 21.
What we're trying to do with the
on
enablement of this
BTC.
technology by essentially reducing counterparty risk exposure,
but we are retesting
risk.
on the weekly chart.
That component being available,
we are right now retesting the weekly trend line on the lower time frames. As you can see, we almost came back up and retested that level. But I still believe that, I mean, of course, if we're breaking below 19,940 with momentum, that can definitely be us continuing down because we're still below the trend line. But I still expect us to push up.
We can agree
Every
with
time
that,
they speak, it always goes to the opposite direction, and then you have the crazy momentum to the right direction. Because I don't think the bullish momentum is over yet.
The idea is, of course, not to reduce the efficiency of this settlement. Maybe
Powell is putting his
Matthias,
sell
would you
order
like
on
to add something on the central bank response and the
just
possible
breaking
wholesale
news, sushi
CBDC?
price pumped by Nadia.
Yeah, happy to.
Very shortly, because we would like to have a few minutes for the audience to raise questions.
Okay, then I prefer let's give it to the audience, right? Makes
Okay.
more sense.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a little bit more time for questions, so please don't hesitate to raise your hands and take the opportunity of our panelists' experiments on wholesale CBDC, on tokenized assets, and ask your questions.
Yes, Ben, it is.
Don't be shy.
It's the second you know. Yes, that's how she collects all her husbands.
The mic is coming.
Do you think the BTC price is no? I don't. I think it's just gonna drop now a little bit, but I think it will still continue up.
Hi everyone.
I don't.
Thank you
Either
very much
way,
for
we will not have
very
a crazy
insightful
drop
panel.
right now,
I'm Abitha
and
from
everything
Goldman
will
Sachs.
just change direction.
So
I
have a
still think
question
that we need
regarding
to.
smart contract risk, which I don't think is a topic that we've
I
touched
don't
upon
think
just
that we're
yet.
going down yet.
One of the biggest
We only
challenges that
have
I
a
see
pullback on the
with
lower
DeFi
time frames,
and
to be
public
honest.
blockchain is the premise of smart contract risk. And Ravi Menon on the previous panel mentioned that you can't yet regulate DAOs, algorithms, or smart contracts. So how do we collectively as regulators and market participants think about mitigating the risk on smart contract risk that is very unique to public blockchains and DeFi protocol? Question for Jean-Marc.
Market opens in 4 minutes, yes. Let's see how it looks. Ding, ding, ding.
Valid point. Different level of mitigation. First, I mean, in the case, speaking about Société Générale and the way we organize this type of transactions, others may have other answers. Well, first, the smart contracts we are using are open source, so the code can be reviewed by anyone, and we have regularly proposal for updating these smart contracts. Second, before
is it safe to enter trade now?
I
don't have a setup actually at the moment, and especially not now when the market is like doing everything it's doing. I'm great, Jason. How are you? Welcome.
The term sheet of the financial instruments is well reflected.
One thing that you should think about when
that all the
every new session opens, let the first 15 minutes be, because when the first 15 minutes, it can be a little bit unstable.
That the code has been developed
so
a nice way.
always 15 minutes when the market is changing session. Have that in mind.
When you are dealing with securities, you are operating in an environment which is actually significantly different from the one investors may experience when they trade Bitcoin or any other digital asset, not cryptocurrencies, in the way that you actually cannot perform this type of operations on your own. You need to go through regulated entities, which will first ensure that behind the wallets you are using, there is someone which is well identified with a banking grade KYC performed on the beneficial owner of the security, and who has also authority under an agreement with the issuer of the instrument to actually call back, burn, and
I treat the first minutes like a slot machine.
Itself,
use the penny slots and assume 99.99 of the time.
Would happen. Something
they hate say crypto. They're like
technology itself or on the security. So there are very strong business continuity plans which do exist to ensure basically that everyone is safe.
So it opens now.
Definitely that there is someone, possibly a bank, who is ultimately responsible and liable in front of the regulator for ensuring full continuity of operations.
You will get a copyright strike for displaying the video. Yeah, but I saw another YouTuber also was looking at this. He also had the screen here.
Which is called formal verification, which is the fact
you think that's going to be a problem?
Verifying that a piece of code is respecting its set of specification. For instance, in Paris, the line 1, the metro line 1 is formally proven. So when you write a piece of code, generally what you do is you begin with the set of specification. With certain type of languages, what we call functional languages, what you can do is once you have written the set of specification, you write the code and you can mathematically
prove it's a public
that this
video,
code
yeah?
is respecting the specification. This is something that we don't see much, but for instance, we are talking about decentralized finance, the peer-to-peer lending protocol compound is formally proven. On Tezos, you can natively prove the different smart contract you write. So I think it's not very used and democratized so far, but in the future, for very specific and very delicate smart contracts, this is an answer as well.
And this is, of course, a future challenge for supervisors.
I'm not sure how to do that.
Maybe another question. I don't see very well. Don't hesitate to raise your hand.
Torben, no other YouTuber doing the same. You're safe, Nat. I saw another guy do it actually,
no other question?
And that's why, because in the beginning I didn't want to show, and then I saw him and I was like, you know what, maybe I should, because it's actually like a video where everyone look at.
I'm just checking. Yes, there is one question here on the left
Well,
side.
we will all see if it's gonna be or not. They will send me a message.
One question, maybe you've heard about kind of trigger solutions whereby basically a securities transaction triggers a kind of, let's say, a kind of a direct debit, and as a result, let's say, in central bank, so that the transaction is done in the central bank books, and then it's basically
crypto banter. Yeah, exactly. Like I saw someone had like 8K on something.
These type of trigger solutions. Do you think that they are useful, or?
Yeah, I do this and I do YouTube.
Yeah. What's your view on it?
I don't know if you wish to reply to this question. I think it's a good question because, of course, there are debates on how to provide the central bank money for the tokenized asset. So should the central bank money be put on the chain, or could we have a kind of interface with traditional infrastructure?
Yes, this is live right now.
What is your view?
Sorry, I'll answer briefly. I know Jean-Marc will want to comment. Yes, I'm aware of how it works, and it's a good solution to connect the two networks. I think one of the things that perhaps is still missing versus having a fully tokenized version of the cash is the programmable nature of the token on the cash side, which does present further benefits versus just having a connectivity between the two systems, which is already a step forward.
No one had done anything, I think.
When we think about reducing the risk, as I was saying earlier, having completely different payment rails introduces new risks and essentially means that you're transacting free of payment. The trigger system is a very good solution to prevent that, or to be a step forward in that direction, but doesn't necessarily provide with the full benefits of what having a digital token provides, and that's essentially having the opportunity to program the token on both sides. I will have that. This is a short answer.
Yeah, very much in line with what Maud just said. Obviously, there are still different models which do exist for providing this new type of cash. Trigger solution is one, there are many others. And it's always, I think, a trade-off to find in between the level of disruption, hence difficulty for adoption, and the benefits you are bringing to the users, is it for wholesale or retail CBDC. I will answer by staying in what we know in the commercial banking sector, which are securities. If we just have a look on the journey banks and financial
stop listening to these idiots and keep doing your things now.
Adopting DLT technology. Basically, there was a first step which consisted basically in creating sort of certificates of ownership of existing securities which pre-existed in the traditional market infrastructure under a blockchain format. That's basically solutions which are
within
very
4
useful
minutes,
and
within
which are being
24 minutes,
implemented
we
at
have
scale
something else
in
coming
different
out. So
banks
let us just
to
look at
basically
that
helps
too.
in
So
making
within
the
20
post-trade
minutes, we'll have
operations
some other
much
news
more
coming out,
fluid,
and it's supposed
cheaper,
to
and
be
efficient for
volatile. So
everyone.
let
It's
us
very
just
useful
continue
for
to look
that,
at this,
but actually
and
it's a
then we can
different
turn it
need,
off.
it's a different use
Okay,
case
that's what I
as
want
what
to do.
we were referring to previously, meaning creating digitally native security from the start on a blockchain, which as a result do not exist by any form in the traditional market infrastructure, and which push the benefit probably to the
Nat,
next
did you
level.
invest?
But
No, not yet. I'm waiting
as a
for
result,
it.
also face more difficulties or hurdles in terms of adoption. So depending where you put the trigger, there might be a valid
I'm your
route
big fan. I
for
don't
one
miss any
solution
live
or
streams
the
and
other.
take a lot of trades set up from streams. You are best teacher. I watch the account
Thank
and
you
always
very much
comment
for
from this
this. I
account, but
think
don't respond.
it's
No,
time
no,
for
thank you
us
so
to
much.
stop
That is
there.
so sweet of you. Thank
Maybe,
you.
as a key takeaway of our discussion, I
Oh
will
wow, you really live constantly. You and I are
mention the
going
need
to
for
be
a
famous where
legal
your friends are
basis
going
and
to actually.
regulation, which is a view shared by the official sector
And now I
and
made another
private sector.
account.
So
You're
it's
the best
nice
at helping with the
to
phone.
hear.
You're welcome, Denise.
Second,
But Nano,
the
I'm not
fact
sure what you're
that
talking
you are
about.
interested in having
No one has done
digital
anything.
cash.
Maybe it's YouTube. I'm not sure.
I would presume that a central bank digital cash would be better than a kind of stable coin. But
Look at it. We're going up, babies. I told you. This is the first 15 minutes on the New York session.
Coexist, and the important point is to see how
Let us take my take profit now, guys.
We
My take profit at 20,500.
directly the fiat currency.
You're the best,
And
Natalie.
also,
Helping.
I see
I
a link
read the same comment
between
again.
wholesale CBDC and retail CBDC, at least regarding the investors who also need to access the tokenized assets, and maybe by using the retail CBDC for accessing the tokenized assets and having the cash leg paid. So thank you very much. Thank you for your participation. Thank you also, Matthias, and sorry for the technical issues at the
Guys, if you want to be part of my crypto, my Natalie Bitcoinsensus group, you have the link to my Telegram right now in the chat.
And bring a lot of benefits. Thank you very much.
Hi, Marvici. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Normally at 4. Thank you.
Okay. Well, screw these people. Now we're back. Now I have to fix all these things on my OBS. Let's have some music on. Let's... Does it sound good? Can you hear me? Does you see me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Is the music perfect? My first time here, thank you. You're welcome, Vinny, guys. Well, if you are new to the channel, welcome. We always do these live streams when we have the meetings, especially when it comes to Powell, because it affects the market very much. And we've been doing this before. So welcome to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed to it, you should definitely do that, because on my YouTube channel, I'm very, very good when it comes to the technicals. I'm very good when it comes to precise prices, where the market is going, etc. And I also have some videos where I show you exactly, guys, what I do with market structure, part 1, part 2, counter trend lines, etc. I also have back tests together with you guys where I just practice the charts with you. And this is one of the things that we have to have in mind now when we see these people talking, right? Like, we all know that at the end of the day, we all know that they're gonna do something with crypto. That's the whole plan. Like, they want to do everything digital. So, you know, and they want to be in control with everything. Like, when it comes to money, they want everything from you. Like, they want the the breath. They want everything from you, okay? So that is also on my YouTube channel. What I guys want you to do is that I want you to learn how to trade yourself, so you never have to have that type of people controlling you the way they do. Like when I started to trade, the why I started to trade was because I don't want anyone to tell me what to do, when to do it, how to do it, right? But in our society, we have to do it. So that's why when I started to trade and I saw the opportunity for me to be able to create my own, you know what, I'm just losing my words here, guys, but create your own reality with this, because we all need money at the end of the day. We know that, and we want money, but please, not going to lie now, but every time I came on to watch you, I have no clue how you're trading. Are you sure? Really? Well, if you do not know, I'm not sure what more to tell you. Maybe you just don't understand how, I mean, some people just don't understand, but I mean, I think I'm pretty good at explaining how I do it. And you can see my levels already, like they are. You have one support, you have another support here. But please, guys, take it seriously, because at the end of the day, they will try to do everything in their power to take everything that you got. We always have to we have to understand how the society is, okay? So when it comes to it, you can see how, I expect BTC to pull back up to right now to $20,500, okay? And then we just you can see that we have the weekly trend line here. We are at a support, okay? So we can definitely continue even more up. Like, this is just a zone, a Fibonacci zone that I have based on the previous lower high and the lower low. But we have previous lower lows and lower highs too. I mean, we can even, like, if we just play around with the charts, we kind of have to also use the previous high from 46,764 back down to the low at 16,810. If we have a big momentum, we can also even pull back up to potentially 32,900 and 36,100, right? So we are at a support at the moment. And for us to create the next lower high, because we still have to follow it, right? We still have to follow what the market is giving us, and the market is down. The market has been going down. If we have some momentum up, I'm just talking like overall now, okay? This does not have to happen, but we can, if we would have a bigger pump following market structure, this can also be it, okay? Vänta, vad är det där? One video is not enough. Stick around every day and your best friend will be a dude called Fibonacci. Yeah, guys, that's the thing. Like, when it comes to it, you have to practice it over and over and over again. You have to practice it so much. But now what we're looking at when it comes to BTC, we're looking at the lower time frames, and we're using the previous. You can see how the market was on the uptrend. Market pull back down, creates low lows and lower highs, and I'm calculating this box now based on the previous lower high with the lower low, okay? So that's how I am able to calculate where the next potential lower high is. So I'm using the Fibonacci for that. And that is why it's very important now to see on the lower time frames how the market starts to behave. Because if we have the push up to these levels, 20.5K and 21K, this is where I expect the market to then slowly reverse back down from, right? So, we always have to look at certain levels and focus on them, and don't try to complicate it, to be honest, because some people just because they see that the market goes up, they think the market will just turn and change everything. And especially if you're looking at pretty huge candlestick like this. But look at this, guys. You saw the market pull back down before to the support, and then also the market pulled back up. You see all this huge momentum that we did have, but that was only because we then pulled back in some other Fibonacci levels, as you can see right here, and then you had the drop. Okay, so this was also something that we expected, and the exact same movements, that's what can happen right here too. So we see the next potential drop. So that is why I'm looking at these levels, and you can already see how we had now for a couple of hours, the market starts to slow down, but we can still have the last push and then see the drop, right? She don't tell us what to do, it's more of less to learn, to decide ourselves. I tell you what to do all the time, kind of. Yeah, I do that. I show you how I do it, and we repeat it every single day, and that's pretty good. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to it, hit the notification so you know when I am live. Go in and practice these videos that I have, and then you follow me on my live streams, because we do this every single day. We repeat every single day what I show you on the chart. So, I mean, it's a very good it's a very good YouTube channel for you to be on, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. As I always said, if I were you, I would be happy if I had myself as a mentor, because I explain everything very simple, and I'm very honest with everything that I see and everything that I do. So yeah, looking at your Ethereum at the moment, we are above the 61.8%, and we can reach 1,437 or 1,486. If we don't see the market, you know, start to reverse back down and have the drop. Because everything is probabilities, guys. Everything is probabilities, and that is why we always have to follow what the market is doing. And don't try to get stuck into oh, I want the market to be long now, or I want the market to be short. Because if you're trying to involve your own emotion to the game will just kill you. It will take your money away. And that is why I'm very good at market structure, and that's why I teach you market structure with Fibonacci, etc. Because I mean, that's basically how the market is moving. Then we have some news coming out, but then we're just looking at some targets, because, you know, when you're backtesting it, you understand how the market is moving. And I mean, patience is definitely key. Patience is definitely key. So please, guys, have that in mind. I'm actually gonna end this live stream right now. I have to go. But we did have a great live stream today. We did have it for almost 2 hours, guys. So please, should we take lower? Please go into my YouTube channel and look at, I tell you everything here in the Master Fibonacci. I tell you everything there, how I do it, but you can use it from wick to wick or body to body. You have to practice it yourself. I usually use my Fibonacci from body to body, but I started to use it from the wick now too. So everything depends, okay? Yeah, guys, if you want to be part of my community, please, you have the link in the description, or you have it in the live chat. And if you don't forget, you can also receive the best bonus available right now on Bybits up to $4,380. I hope my take profit will be hit soon at 20,500. So let's see what's gonna happen. We'll see each other later, okay? You have the Telegram group once again in the live chat, so if you want to be part of it, you're more than welcome. This is the only community chat that I do have, guys. So if there's anyone reaching out to you, it's not me, because I will never do that. Please write 111 in the chat if you did enjoy this live stream, guys. I did it. We always try to have these live streams while they talk. It's very important. We have some news coming out on Friday too, and me and Andy said that we're gonna go live at that time, okay? So thank you, everyone. Thank you, SG, for helping out. Thank you, Sissy, Judith, Westy, Humbla, Big Boy, Charles, Jane Seeker, Music Fam, Emmeline, World's Lois, Lucifer, Relief, Westy, John, Igor, Jason, Cools, Papa John, Ethereum, Ben. There's so many! Okay, guys, thank you for your TAs. You're welcome, guys. So see each other in the live chat, and see each other tomorrow in the morning live stream, okay? Mwah! Toodle!